Hi all, it is early September and I took a little break from making videos. Sorry for the people who were enjoying them, but I got busy. I just started a firm in a new firm with a couple of friends in the late spring, early summer. So I've been keeping at it, but I still have some food. I didn't maintain my garden as much as I would have liked this year. For instance, you can see like some weeds and stuff down along the edges and whatnot. So this is where we are, kind of middle of fall. Everything is getting ready to be harvested. The strawberries need to be divided down the row. We have been picking tons of peppers. I have probably picked, well, I picked 2 5-gallon buckets just of the hatch chilies. That's these guys. These are the small ones left on it, but some of them were, close to a foot long. I also picked a whole bunch, and my dehydrator is full of the cayennes, and I'm kind of trying to take out one rack and put one in as much as I can to keep those going. This is my one squash plant. This paver, this marks the outer edge. It's about a 5 foot wide, so this thing, it's probably taking up 10 feet by 6 feet at this point, and this is yellow scallop squash. Let's see if I can find one in here. Also heard them called patty pans. Yeah. Marigolds. I've really liked the marigolds. We're keeping the marigolds. I have no idea if they're that useful for pest control or not. That's kind of why you plant them, is as a companion plant. But they're pretty, and I like them, and they make me want to be out here more. These are the jalapenos. This is the only one I've really kept up with. The shishitos, I have not kept up with. I need people to help me eat shishitos. I have so many shishito. The tomatillos are getting really big, and they're starting to pull themselves over from the weight, and they're starting to get dried out. So I think a couple of these are close to done, but this area over here is fine. It's just these ones that were taller. They get a lot more sun, and I think that this is a dry spot in the garden. These are the Scarlet Runner beans. Let's see if I can find a bean to show ya. Here we go. Big bean pods. These are going to be dried and eaten that way. That was one of the experiments I wanted to try. Through here. Ooh, sorry. Ah. Stepping all over it. These are probably our favorite. Black carrots, or purple carrots. They're called black nebula carrots. Anyway, really good flavor and very, very dark purple. They kind of turn anything you cook it with purple. Let's see, my green bean tower, the green bean teepee, did work out well this year. More vines are starting to come off, and I need to come pull them back up. But plenty of green beans on it all the way up. We've been harvesting regularly. This patch did not do as well this year by a long stretch. I'm not entirely sure why. So I'm going to amend it heavily, and hopefully it'll do better next year. We've pretty well stopped eating kale for the time being, but we have a ton of it. So we may need to start eating again soon. But our kale patch, it's got 4 different kinds of kale in it. And it's just completely covered. So, yeah, that's cool. The only currant bush that bore this year was this one right here, which is a josta berry. It's a cross between a gooseberry and a black currant. I doubt there's anything left on it at this point. These are very, very small, very dried out versions. Usually they're about 2 or 3 times that size. The rest of them didn't fruit this year for whatever reason. Don't know, don't really care. They're still pretty. They give a nice background. I planted a bunch of stuff in this bed, and then immediately what came up was nasturtiums from seed and the weeds that have been here for 20 years, and then this bush that I've been trying to cut back for 2 years straight. Same with this one. So I'm going to probably plant irises in these 2 beds this fall. My dad gave me a bunch from home, from the family house. So this is going to be my family iris patch, I think, instead of this crap that I can never get rid of and that I'm having too hard of a time replanting delicate stuff in. The Egyptian walking onions have been replanted. Yeah, some of them have been replanted anyway. The peppers that got planted kind of interspaced through here. Like this batch of cayennes right here, for instance, didn't do very well for whatever reason. Not sure. But the trees are doing really well. Especially this fig. I'm glad that it started taking off. I was very worried this spring if this guy was going to survive or not. Well, look at it now in September. I would say that it's fine. I need to get used to it dying back to the ground. I thought that it died back to this point right here. But as you can see from the branches down here, everything's literally coming out of the ground. Like, so it dies all the way back to the ground. This cherry tree is large. This is probably, oh gosh, 9 feet tall at this point. I'm skeptical that this was a dwarf. It might be a semi-dwarf. But I've gone through and I've planted thyme at the base of this, so hopefully this will spread. And I planted thyme, oregano, sage, stuff like that around the base of the plants, and chives. This coming spring, I'm going to plant around the last few bases of them, because I want everything to kind of turn out like this. This is garden sage that's been there for 2 years. This is its 2nd year. I've heard it might be biennial in this area for whatever reason, so we'll see. But I'd like everything to kind of look like this at the base of the trees. I think that's a pretty effect. This is the Hubbard squash. It's huge! There are 2 squash. That one started growing recently. This one, shoe for comparison, is big. That's a very large squash. And that's been there all season. This area, I didn't fight the bindweed very well. I'm going to try a pest control solution, a kind of mite that eats it. But I got tired of picking this stuff. I'm leaving it for now, and I'll get bugs that eat it. This is getting eaten by the friendly neighborhood skunk, most likely. But this is a acorn squash area plant. Here's what it looks like. I got these ones that are kind of striped. I don't know if it's a crossbreed and that it was poorly packaged and labeled or something, or if that's what it was supposed to be, but I thought the original was supposed to be a regular looking acorn, and all of them are coming out striped, so it is what it is. And then the asparagus has finally come back this year, and it's come up, not much of it came back after it got weeded out last year by a guy hired to help me, but it got replanted this spring, and it is well established. So I'm not, like, even this guy here that's been collapsed on by that squash, that's fine. Yeah, so eventually I will have asparagus. At this point, it looks like it'll probably take 5 years before I can harvest it, but that's about what it's supposed to, so that's okay. This was supposed to be the red orange patch. It's a kind of green that's tolerant of the heat. That didn't come up. This area doesn't get watered very much. Same with the patch over there by the squash. I tried to plant lovage there, but something dug in it almost immediately, so much for that. The honeyberries, I think, are done. I don't think that they like this spot. I don't know why, but they're done. They don't like me. They don't like this area. Sometimes you just have to accept that. And then I've been harvesting horseradish every so often and giving it to friends. So if anybody wants horseradish, I have a full patch of horseradish. And I mean, when I mean harvesting it and giving it to friends, like, I'll pull off a few pound chunk at a time. Yeah, so, like, it's really well established. So if anyone wants some, please. Let's see. What am I missing? Here's some oregano planted here. The rhubarb died back in the summer. I feel like it got slightly cooler for a little bit, so it started growing again, and now it's dying back again. That's not really great. But that's how it is. 2 more spots. First is the grape arbor to be. I haven't gotten this built this year. I was trying to do it in the spring, ran out of energy. This is in my side bed. So along the left side there is oregano and thyme planted. Right here there's a big mass of weeds because that's where the drain from my swamp cooler goes. So winter project is I'm going to make a PVC pipe runner or something like that along the length of this bed and catch all this runoff through the summer from my swamp cooler and drip it out evenly. But so there are two grapevines there. One here closer. Oh, the other one is hard to see here, but they're there. They're still small. They got in at the right time, but grape arbors take a long time to grow and get established. You know, that's really a long-term project and something to do with that bed that can handle a lot of neglect and abuse. So that's what I did. You know, I said two more things and I forgot what the last one was. It's about time for me to start prepping my fall beds. Part of that is I'm going to hack down all of this comfrey here. I've let it grow all summer. I'm trying to let it get really established. I've divided it out. This is a new cutting that I put in this year. Oh, where's another one? Huh. This cutting over, I put it cutting here, but it didn't take. But anyway, so I'm going to cut all that down and put that in this long bed right here. This is going to be the garlic bed. Last year I planted out about a 4 foot by 4 foot area or so, like from my foot here, that area. Got, 60 heads of garlic and we loved it. It's great garlic and it was a lot of fun and it stores well and we like the vibe of garlic hanging up in the kitchen. So I'm taking all that and I'm planting it out all through this here this year. This is going to be the garlic bed kind of going forward. If I have extra cloves or extra bulbs I want to plant, I've got one more space back there where I did it last year where I'll do it as well. But so that's going to be the next project, is prepping the garlic bed for fall planting. And I think that does me, guys. Thanks a lot. I'm glad I could get you another update. I hope everyone is doing well. Happy summer. Take care, y'all.